What's up, guys? It's your boy Shady Mike, and welcome to our second Madden 26 modding showcase of the year. This is a video where I take you guys through my favorite mods coming out of the Madden modding community Discord. I'll make sure that Discord server is linked in the description below. But yeah, I've actually been going a while. Had some technical difficulties with my recording PC, but we're back, and hopefully we're back for good. But wow, I've been going, a lot of heat has dropped, and I'm really excited to show you guys what you may have missed if you haven't been up in the Discord. But first, some housekeeping. Guys, please do me a solid, like the video, subscribe for more content if you like content like this. It helps me a ton to get back into that YouTube algorithm, right? But in the description, you'll find a link to our prior modding showcases, as well as a tutorial if you need help learning how to install any of these mods. Also, if you are looking to purchase Madden 26 on the PC, on the EA app, make sure to use my code ShadyMikeGaming to help support the channel. I really appreciate you guys and everyone that's been using it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the top mods of the week for Madden 26. All right, guys, so I'm going to start us off with a mod that we did showcase in our last modding showcase, but has received a ton of new content since we last showcased it, and that is Madden 26 Unlocked. Wanted to give a special shout out to this team and everything that they've added to the game, because this is truly one of those mods that changes everything about the way we play video game football. This mod adds so much content that sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to showcase all of the content, but the number one thing I wanted to highlight that's new, the number one thing I wanted to highlight, were the new features that have just dropped in the latest update. So, for example, we had a blast on stream kind of decking out some of our favorite players. They have the new cropped jerseys that you can put on players that wear them. Some of the ones that kind of come to mind is Derrick Henry, and the Eagles have a rookie safety with the last name Makuba, and he wears it as well. So it's kind of like your jerseys cropped up. If you want, you can add one of the custom undershirts under it, like Makuba does, or if you want to show some skin, like Derrick Henry does sometimes. You can have a lot of fun with your custom roster going on, and adding that to whoever you feel that might apply to. But there are also a plethora of new individual items, like for example this kind of turtleneck look that we're seeing a lot of a lot of players wear now. Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart. It looks great. It's definitely one of my favorite looks. I'm glad it's actually kind of making a comeback in the league. It's a really smooth look. I really like the way that they have it set up in the menu, because sometimes if you set it up, it's got some clipping, but they have like an alternate larger size that if it does clip, you can use the alternate size, and then it works perfectly. You can do it in white, you can do it in black, you can do it in the team color. So you can really have some fun with that. We do have the 3D hanging mouthpieces. We all know that's been one of the most requested items pretty much in EA football game history. So that's another one. I hope that they can find a way to make that happen for our console fans as well. But we do have it here in Madden Unlocked. One thing I haven't covered much on the channel, it's just because it's not like a huge personal interest of mine, but oh my goodness, this community is going crazy. I mean, absolutely insane with the custom cleats. Like, they have a bunch of different cleats. There's a bunch of different colorways, but I do have to, of course, shout out my friend RunninWild, who hooked us up with, in my opinion, the coldest cleat design you're going to see. A little bit biased, but it is a Shady Mike Gaming cleat. I collaborated with him later last year to get this made towards the very end of Madden 25, and he got it ported back into Madden 26 for us. So I said it before, but I'll say it again. This is seriously, if people think it's a joke, it's not. One of the highlights of my life, to see my face and my emblem and my logo in a game that I grew up playing. It's really cool, and I can't thank obviously the modders that made it, RunninWild that made it, and then obviously all the modders that make this whole thing possible, because that's such a a really cool experience. So I'm just really thankful for that. Another mod that goes great with Madden 26 Unlocked, actually it requires it, is the small pads mod by CoolJ319. Now, this is not the same small pads mod that we covered last week. Yes, it does make the shoulder pads a bit smaller and closer to what we see on Sunday, but this mod also adds some new jersey options as well. Take, for example, this jersey with the hoodie pocket in it. We have seen that quite a bit around the league, so it's really cool to get that in Madden. That is great. Now, one thing about these smaller pads mods is, well, you know, most players wear pads smaller than what's in Madden, but we do have some players, take for example Jalen Hurts, who actually wears very large pads. And so in the emissive slot, he does have a special really bulky jersey here for Jalen, which I think it looks great, and I'm wearing it on him, and I think it's fantastic. So a special shout out to CoolJ319 for giving us this solution, adding the pocket jerseys, adding the bulky Jalen jersey, and also the normal smaller shoulder pads as well. They look phenomenal. All right, so for our next mod, I gotta talk to you guys about what a modder named Hot Dog Man 140 has been doing. He's been making face scans. This is something that obviously we all know is really big in the 2K modding community, but it's really cool to see this come over to Madden, especially as there are some pretty big players in the game that don't have scans. So you know, he's been making some custom faces. I think the biggest one that'll stick out to most of you is probably going to be George Pickens, because I know that's, you know, someone that we always get a lot of questions about. We've got Tank Dell, Blake Corum, right? So this is he's got a whole package, and I'm not going to scroll through all of them. Quinshon Judkins is in there, so that's really cool. Tucker Kraft, so that's, you know, really exciting. So, you know, he's got it's in a package, and he's updating and adding players. Jalen Milroe is in there, Najee Harris, you know, some of the big ones that guys are looking for. Obviously Shador Sanders, Tommy DeVito, right? So it's really cool what he's doing with that mod. So I definitely wanted to showcase that. But also alongside of that, I'm going to show you guys 3 other separate standalone mods that Hot Dog Man 140 is working on as well. So if you guys saw the trailer for this modding showcase, there's a mod for Josh Allen to have his hair that hangs out of the helmet. It alters his hairstyle. Now, one thing I did want to show you guys, I think it was a little bit bugged for me. I was running into an issue where the hairstyle wasn't changing in the menu, but it was changing once you put the helmet on the player. So they had the normal hair, but then as soon as you put the helmet on, it looks obviously just exactly how we're looking to see it, because Josh does have that hair coming out of the back of his helmet. He's got another one for Jalen Ramsey's new hairstyle. He's got the long dreads now, and they do come out the back of his helmet. So that's not in the base game, but now it is, and we've got the custom Jalen Ramsey dreads. And for Lamar Jackson, it looks like, I don't know if his dreads are shorter now, or if like they're just up, you know what I mean, in the helmet. I'm not really sure, but I've been seeing a Lamar interview lately. But I do know when watching him play, you can't see the dreads out of his, or I don't know if they're dreads or braids, but whatever, you guys get the point. You can't see it out of the back of his helmet. So Hot Dog Man 140 has us hooked up with that mod. So, and it also looks really cool, especially if you put the ski mask on Lamar like he's been wearing for a while. So I wanted to really highlight this because he's doing a lot of work, and this mod is continuously being updated and adding more and more players. So if there's a player that you're interested in, definitely check out the thread and see if he has gotten around to the player, because he's doing fantastic work. All right, guys, so we got our first few jersey mods of the year. We're going to start taking a look at the Seahawks Blackout uniform by Wiimaster. Wiimaster states that he made this mod largely as a proof of concept to show a small small amount of what the new Madden 26 uniform system is capable of. He said this mod was made with 0 edits to any textures thanks to the new system. So this mod is really cool. I love it. It's a really nice look for the Seahawks. It's a really great alternative to add to their lineup. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Falcons legacy brand by a modder named Rebrand, and he really went all out with this rebrand of the Falcons. There's a lot of there are some additional steps, however, to this mod's installation, so make sure you read the instructions in the Discord. But this mod has 4 new uniforms. It's got 3 fields with it. He touched up the stadium as well, so if you're using any stadium mods, you're going to want to make sure this mod has higher priority. It's got a new practice facility with it, and he even touched on the mascot, so special shout out to Rebrand. He went crazy with this one. And guys, last and definitely not least, now available to the public, Sabos Gameplay Mod. So, you guys saw we were doing some early beta testing for this mod. I hope that, my testing and, some of the fun clips that we got together helped Sabo make a better mod. But yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to find a mod that's more impactful than this one. And it's just because, hey, listen, one question I get a lot is, Shady, what does the gameplay mod do? Well, it's a hard question to answer because it's actually easier to talk about what the mod doesn't do, right? The mod covers every aspect of video game football to make it better. This is Sabos' kind of personal touch. And I tried my best to, as I was using the mod, to take notes of the things that I noticed and the things that I feel. And it's not just what I noticed. I mean, statistically, numerically, these are things that have been improved and enhanced. And I wanted to just kind of take my bullet points and go through what I've been seeing with this mod. And I broke it into 5 main topics. The first, I would call smarter situational AI play calling, right? And that just breaks down into so many different points, right? The AI is gonna, use their timeouts in a more realistic way in place, right? They're gonna run the no huddle when they should, when they're trailing, when they're trying to get back in the game. They're gonna execute 2-minute drills the way you'd expect an NFL coach to do, right? They're gonna go for it on 4th down when it makes sense, and when it does, and not when it doesn't make sense. In my opinion, and this is what I wrote down, I said this removes the scripted feel of the stock Madden that a lot of people complain about, and it just overall makes the CPU strategy feel a little bit more like real football. Now, the second thing that I have noted here, and this should be my first because this is, in my opinion, the biggest improvement, is the overall realistic quarterback behavior that comes from the CPU, right? And that covers everything. CPU quarterbacks are going to scramble, more logically, like when it makes sense. They'll throw the check down when it makes sense under pressure, and obviously they'll take their shots down the field when that makes sense. So when it is 3rd and long, when they are trailing late in the game, when they are trying to get into field goal range and the clock is a factor, they'll take those shots downfield. But when it's early in the game and someone's screaming through the middle, they're not afraid to check down, right? So it's, yes, they're smarter, yes, they're better, but somehow at the same way, it removes that robo QB feeling. And when they do make mistakes, it's almost like it's just a more human feeling mistake. And Sabo's done a really cool thing where he's tied this to the ratings, to the awareness ratings of quarterbacks and things of that nature. So that's, really exciting. He's kind of tiered the quarterbacks off so that you have the difference between an elite and not elite quarterback. We know that's a hot topic of conversation these days. The third thing that I have that I wanted to touch on with him is his adaptive, or as he calls it, the dynamic AI. And that's, where just the CPU is going to adjust and try to be smart to, adjust to plays that, maybe you call repeatedly, or, like, for example, like use max protect in certain situations if you're maybe abusing a blitz. I think it really kept, for me, the gameplay fresh, and can definitely prevent you as a player from spamming exploits that, or I don't know if I'll call it an exploit, but, things that are working repeatedly for you. You got to stay fresh and keep your gameplay fresh. Overall, I felt like he tuned the gameplay just for a much better better balance, and that covers everything in the game, right? From fumbles to fatigue to injuries to penalties, right? He's worked to get penalties called. Now, obviously, we're still a little bit limited in terms of what penalties are called. It's still, you know, for the most part, going to be the holds and the offsides and the false starts and illegal blocking the backs. Because I do think, like, you know, for example, like face mask, I don't even think it's possible to get that penalty called in the game. But the number one thing with that point, as far as the balance and the tuning, I wanted to talk about is he really tuned the blocking and the pass rush and the coverage around ratings and not user stick skills, right? So you're going to feel a difference running behind the Eagles offensive line and running behind a team that doesn't have a good offensive line, right? We all know the joke is that, like, the left guard or the right guard in Madden and college football always get insta shedded. Well, no, now that's going to be more about ratings. You're going to have a clean pocket forming. Obviously, if your ratings allow for that. Same thing with coverage and the tightness of coverage, right? It's going to be tuned and tweaked based on the ratings, based on who's open, and same thing for the throws that quarterbacks are going to be able to make, and you're going to feel the difference playing with a 72 overall quarterback versus a 92 overall quarterback. And the last thing that I kind of wanted to touch on was just the immersion, the authenticity, and the attention to detail that Sabo put into this mod, right? And just looking at small things, right? So, for example, there's a higher chance of, you know, the AI missing field goals. I really liked, this is one thing that stood out to me in his last update, was the way that he tweaked and tuned the punting, right? So that now gunners are going to get jammed a little bit more, but the CPU punters aren't going to just automatically kick the ball out of bounds sideways. He's tweaked the frequency in which CPU runners use ball carrier moves. He's made it where in certain situations quarterbacks are more willing to fight for extra yardage as opposed to immediately sliding. Like, that's what I try to tell you guys, like, with these patch notes. It's so much to cover, and I want to just kind of do my best. But really, the best way that I can show you guys this mod is when I do stream it, and you guys can see the gameplay live. You guys can see the movie, the experiences. It's really great. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, that's Sabos Gameplay Mod. It's a blast. It's a must-have mod for me, in my personal opinion. It makes the game so much better and really adds a ton of value to Madden 26, and it's something that I really enjoy. But without further ado, guys, make sure you keep it locked to the channel. If you can do me a favor, just for that algorithm, guys, hit me with a like and a subscribe on your way out. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate all the modders, obviously, who make all this awesome content for us. It's your boy Shady Mike. I'm signing out. Peace. Threes.